The two of us are based in the UK, by the way, and it's 5 with us, but it feels like it's 10 outside. It's so dark ever since the clocks moved back.
Yes, it is bloody freezing, as we would say in the UK.
So let's dive right into the topic. Today, we're discussing how to build an engaged LinkedIn community and walking the talk. Thank you so much for being so active in the comments. Keep them coming. We would love to keep the session interactive. And let me tell you why I particularly chose this topic. There are 3 reasons why I wanted to talk about community building. And um, first of all, I think I owe my success on this platform to building a community. Charlie and I both started on LinkedIn from literally zero. We had 0 connections, 0 followers. I think I had about 700 connections when I first started posting, and 0 likes and comments on our early day posts. It took me quite a while to actually get any traction at all towards my content. I think took a good 5 months to see some results come my way. I don't know what kept me going, but yeah, here we are. But right now, the two of us have a combined community of 250,000 people. That's a quarter of a million. And thousands of you have joined this session. So that's amazing. Hundreds of people. And we have been able to quit our 9 to 5 jobs, start 2 6 figure businesses. And now we're coming together to build something even more incredible. So, on that note, Charlie, do you want to make the announcement before we move on with our session?
Yeah, I'd love to. Since we're talking about an engaged LinkedIn community here, we're actually launching our own community in January. It starts from the 5th of Jan, 2026, and it's all about AI and LinkedIn. It's called the AI Creators Club. So if you'd like to join us, then you can scan the QR code in the top right. You could simply do this with your mobile if you're on desktop, or if you are watching this on mobile, just take a screenshot and you can actually click the link via that image. Or if you can't be bothered to do either of them, just comment the word community and we'll follow up with you after the event. So yeah, super excited to start up with you, Fatima. And we're also, because you've joined us today, we're offering a 20% discount to people in this live session. And if you just use the word community at checkout, then that discount will automatically apply, but it only lasts 24 hours. It will
Yeah.
expire tomorrow at around 6 p.m. UK time.
Yes, so avail the discount, guys. It's amazing. You'll get £99 off and you'll be locked in for the next 3 months with the two of us and an incredible community. So I want to talk about how we came up with this idea, first of all. So Charlie and I hosted a 4-week boot camp with about 65 members. And we had no intention of converting that experience into, a full-time community, but it was just a process that we enjoyed so much, bringing people together and actually seeing incredible results from so many different creators on the platform. And there's this misconception out there on LinkedIn. I feel like there's so much noise online, on people on my feed particularly, that you know, building an engaged audience doesn't really make a difference. It only has a positive impact if you have a large following, but that cannot be further from the truth. And I know it sounds strange coming from me and Charlie if we have such a big network, which is why in this session we are bringing in 3 actual case studies of people who have built really strong personal brands and incredible audiences with a very small network of people. So we have live case studies. We will show you how they have managed to transform their experience, elevate their businesses just by putting in the right strategy. Because building a following is one thing. If you don't have an engaged audience with a big, large following, it won't make a difference. It will not get you the return on investment. And this is something you have to put in the work for. It's not something, even if I think stop putting in the effort that I do, if I stop putting in the strategies that I have in place to keep my audience engaged every single day, it's not gonna work. So you have to keep putting in the work. And we'll talk about what exactly that is. We are breaking down our exact strategies that we implement every single week that we show up on LinkedIn. I show up about 4 to 5 times a week. Charlie is there 6 to 7 times. So how do we do that? How do we keep showing up and building an engaged audience? There's so much noise on the feed. Despite of that, how do we do it? it does take strategy, it does take, effort. So we're going to talk about that, and we will show you live case studies, like I said, of people who are doing it with much smaller network. There's one person in particular, she'll be our first guest. When she joined our boot camp, she had about 300 connections, I think. We confirm when she comes in, and she left with about 1,000 more. But not only that, she was able to land 5 clients in the first 42 days of being on LinkedIn, which is incredible. So this myth of, you cannot land clients if you don't have, let's say, 10,000 followers, we are going to bust that right here, right now. So should we call in our first guest, Charlie, or should we first talk about a bit of on the strategy that you have prepared for us?
Yeah, of course. I'd love to bring on our first guest, but one thing I'd like to say before that is just the importance of having an engaged audience. I know someone, he's got hundreds of thousands of followers, but his audience isn't engaged, which, you've done all this work to build such a massive following, but then if your audience isn't engaging with you, then what's it worth? Because ultimately you're not going to sign new clients, you're not going to generate leads, you're not going to do any new business. And that's why it's so important to build that engaged following and to do things that I know lots of other people wouldn't do, because it's tedious, it takes time. It's like, this isn't a business revenue driving activity, so why bother? Well, today we'll show you exactly why it matters, and we'll give you our secret tips and tricks on how we manage to keep our audiences engaged. So without further ado, shall we bring on our first guest?
Absolutely. So let's have Sarah in.
Awesome.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
Hello, Sarah.
Thanks so much for having me on.
But the reason why I asked you, Sarah, I think you're one of the best case studies to come out of the boot camp because you started with such a small network and you were new to the
Did.
platform. And not just that, you're also new to your business. You've just transitioned and become a freelancer. And in
Yeah.
just, I think, a small amount of time with a small network, you've been able to monetize your personal brand.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about that. So, how have you been able to do it? You currently have about 5 clients. And how do you stay consistent on the platform? Like, what's your motivation to keep coming up on LinkedIn?
Yeah. I mean, the motivation was, well, I needed an income and I needed it quite fast. I suppose I started my business literally on the 1st of July of this year. I've quit my job after mat leave. So I had like 6 months that we worked out that basically I had to make things work. So I think when you've got a bit of that pressure, you kind of need to, look at ways that you can work with stuff. So I think I sort of went on LinkedIn originally after like a recommendation from somebody about a good place to land clients, but I sort of started posting in the first few weeks and then sort of started to see patterns in like the bigger accounts and how they were posting. And then I sort of came across you and Charlie's like profiles quite quick. And I suppose I just knew that I needed to learn faster. Like I wanted to learn faster, like how I could make that work in terms of like my business and getting seen. Because I think as a creative, it's all well and good having like a great portfolio, but if no one knows you exist, then obviously that's not going to get you anywhere. So I think you taught me quite fast like about you need with the engaged following, because essentially like having those conversations, and that is really what's like made a difference for me, I think, and opened up like being able to talk to people, and then that leading to people coming into my inbox. And that's been really quite like transformational for me and my business. And as a result, I've kind of got 5 clients now that I'm actively working with. And so it's been going really good for me so far. And I've learned a lot of skills from you as a result. So it's been really helpful.
That is quite
Incredible.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I would
I mean,
recommend everyone to check out Sarah's profile because I think you are currently my favorite person to follow. I love your storytelling approach. Your content
I've
is
got
very
like
personality
1,500
driven.
followers, so that's a massive a lot, very
But that's the
flattering.
thing. When you want to land clients, like you have to focus on building trust with the audience. That is what makes this so special, the community aspect. I think
Yeah.
with storytelling, that's how you achieve it. If you're not sharing your story, if you're not talking about yourself, you'll just
Mm.
be any other person talking, sharing educational material. So I like your approach. I think that is why it picked up so quickly. Charlie, you had something to say?
Yeah, I was just saying that's so impressive, Sarah, because I remember my own LinkedIn journey. It took me like 7 months to sign my first client, and that was just me like
Sure.
fighting the algorithm, figuring out what content to post. So the fact you've done
Mhm.
this in like 1-2 months is just wow, kudos, really
But
impressive.
I think to be fair, the defining factor was probably that moment I was trying to decide whether to sign up to your boot camp. I think I got a really small. I do have like I used to work on Upwork when I did it, things as like side gigs. I got a small gig on that for like 800 quid, and I was like, boot camp bills. And there was really that moment, really. I was
Wow.
trying to make that decision. But I guess I had faith in like the strategy and just knowing that you need to get yourself out there. And I think I learned faster, and that's what I needed, because obviously your boot camp gave me the skills with like the 30-day boot camp. So there's accountability there with like the community. So that was really great. And then on top of that, obviously, it's like an engaged following and that consistency. And then the use of sort of like the GPTs and the AI element. So there was a lot of threads to your camp that enable me to kind of, I suppose, maybe speed it up really, so that because you're learning those skills quicker. It would have took me a lot longer to learn about, balancing posts, content, like technical some days, personals other days, and mixing the content pillars. So that was hugely beneficial for me. So
Yeah, thank you so much, Sarah, for giving us your time and coming in. I would recommend everyone to check out your profile, your content, and to learn from you, because you're a live example of making it happen with a small network. So thank you
yeah,
so much for your time once again.
thanks so much for inviting me again.
Thank you, Sarah. Awesome. So yeah, we'll definitely share Sarah's profile in the comments. But also, yeah, very excited to bring on our next guest, which is Monica. Yes, awesome. Okay. Hello, Monica.
How's it going, guys? Hey, everyone.
Hi, Monica, our star student. I loved having you at the bootcamp. Thank you so much for making the time. So talk to us, Monica. What is it that you do? What made you join the bootcamp, and what did you get out of it?
So for me, I've been on LinkedIn for a while, right? But I think I was ready to take it to the next level. So I was started following Charlie. I was following you, Fatima. It was just all the dots connected when Charlie sent me the DM, and I was like, I'm just going to go ahead and go for it. And it didn't disappoint, because I started the boot camp with just at about 4,000 followers. I'm close to 7,000 now. And the engagement has really been amazing. Part of the journey is really just honing in on what really works in terms of content and the LinkedIn algorithm, because it can be so finicky. And Charlie really broke it down. Like for me, I was posting every day. I was doing what they said you need to do on paper, right? But it just wasn't connecting. It just wasn't taking it to the next level. And the boot camp kind of unlocked some of that and put the pieces together. And I know part of the journey for me was being able to share that with my community as a coach.
Right. And I think what I really like about your content, Monica, is how you're always speaking to your specific niche. And quite a few
Mm.
people struggle with that. Like, how do I come up with content regarding my niche all the time? So how do you manage that?
Yeah, so something that I always teach is you have to be the proof of concept. So whatever you're doing, you have to keep in mind that you can always package that up and sell it as a service at some point. So you're pressure testing your future offers by what you're doing. And so for me, I started out as a virtual assistant, been freelancing since 2003. So I have enough experience where I could flip the script and turn it into real moments of practical advice that I knew that I needed back in the day that I didn't have, that I know I can drop to the VAs now.
Amazing. Charlie, any thoughts before we move on?
No, I love it. I just love Monica's energy, and your branding is
Yeah.
just on point. Even as you're joining us in this event, you've got the hashtag, the VA Godmother. Like you nail it.
That is what I learned from you, Charlie, the brand recognition. So I'm a good student.
Really, 100%. One of top of the class for sure. So no, thank you so much
Yeah.
for taking the
Thank you
time,
for having me.
especially on Thanksgiving. Yeah, it's a real
Oh, yeah.
pleasure.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Awesome. See you, Monica.
Amazing. Okay, so before we bring in our last guest, I think let's pause on that for a bit and talk about what are these strategies that our students implemented. How do you actually build an engaged audience? So let's get on, I mean, the juicy bit of this conversation. Charlie, do you want to start?
Sure. Well, yeah. I mean, let's talk about it. Let's talk about how to build an engaged audience, because it ultimately comes down to doing two things very well. And as you probably know, content is the bread and butter of growing a personal brand on LinkedIn. You can have the best content in the world, but if it doesn't resonate with your audience, then you're not going to build an engaged audience. You know, in the age of AI, it's so easy to generate content now. Anybody can go to ChatGPT and type in how to become a better leader, how to do anything, and make that into a LinkedIn post. But what truly sets you apart is your personal experience, your personal stories, anything that AI basically can't replicate. So that's why I want to share with you some post data, which I think you might find interesting, because you know, you never know how many impressions people are generating on LinkedIn.
Mm.
So I want to give you just a quick insight into my impressions and like what really drives the most reach, but also what really resonates with my audience. Can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Okay.
Hmm. Oh, wait, I'm also joining from the studio. Let me check.
Okay, awesome. Let me check on the
Okay,
event
I think
itself.
we have to ask our community to help us with that. Can everyone see Charlie's screen?
I hope so. I didn't anticipate this. Maybe
Okay.
we yes, we're good.
No, I can't see it.
Oh, God.
Can you all see the screen sharing?
Oh, add to stage. Oh, voila.
Okay,
Okay.
there we go. I can see it now.
All right. So yeah, I just want to give you a little insight into, you know, what drives reach and what actually drives like resonance, actual connection with your audience. So if we look at, you know, my top performing posts, you see that, you know, these kind of tool lists and, you know, this very kind of top of the funnel content, it's great for driving impressions. This is my bread and butter. This is what I focus on LinkedIn. And the good thing, I mean, this one did amazing, really, really good. I was very happy with the performance on this. And what's good about it is that it's my personal recommendations. It's actually the tools that I use, rather than like, oh, here's the top 10 tools from ChatGPT to use. But what I really want to show you is not this top of the funnel content, which I love so dearly. It's actually a post which is more personal, post that I don't typically do. And it's my birthday post that I put out 2 days ago. As you can see, it got a crazy good amount of engagement. It, you know, 1,200 plus reactions. That's amazing. That's really, really good. I'll be happy if I got that every single post. You know, I'd be over the moon. But as you can see, the impressions are low. If you see a post with that many reactions, you think, oh wow, that's generated 100,000 plus impressions. It's not the case. For me personally, whenever I do this personal post approach, typically the impression tank, but the engagement is very, very high. So why do I do them? Why do I bother creating these types of posts? Well, it's to actually build a connection with my audience. Without them, I'd be perceived as just like, no one would know me. No one would actually be like, who's the real Charlie? What's his story? What's he done? What's his struggles? Can he show some vulnerability? And I think that is so important when it comes to building an engaged audience on LinkedIn. You know, I started doing this almost a year ago now. Like most of my stuff is very top of the funnel, you know, AI tool lists, GPT, ChatGPT workflows, etc. But I remember I did a post at the start of the year, if I can find it. Yeah, this one. This was my first personal post ever. And it's about how I live with a chronic condition. Literally, like, it was crazy because the amount of engagement that I got back then, I was like, whoa, I didn't know people actually cared, that people actually find this stuff interesting. But it's so interesting because people still, even to this day, you know, almost a
Yeah.
year later, still reference this and remember that I spoke about this on LinkedIn, because people forget information, but stories, they resonate, they stay with people. And it's probably one of the biggest hacks that I've recently, in the last year, discovered when it comes to building my audience and ensuring that, people are actually engaged and want to follow the process behind the progress. So yeah, I just thought that was interesting. It's how do I take this down? There we go. Gone. Yeah, it's something I don't do often, but I like to put one out maybe once a month or so, at an absolute max, just to really feel that connection with my audience.
Yeah, absolutely. This is something that we covered in our boot camp as well, that when you're building that funnel and to build a personal brand, you have to make sure that you're not just um, the only metric that you're chasing is reach. You also have to make sure that you're nurturing that audience that you're the traffic that you're bringing in towards your profile. And there's no better way to do that than by storytelling, than by sharing what's actually happening behind the scenes. And this is, I think, this is what makes this is the difference that I was talking about when it means to grow a following and then to grow an engaged audience, a community. When you are actually building that trust with your audience, and it's no better way to do that than storytelling. So Charlie, there's one other strategy that you do beautifully. I want to talk about that because this is something that anyone can do anytime. If you're not perhaps comfortable sharing your story at the very start of your journey, you can still build a connection with your audience by being active in the comments section. But there's something in particular that you do that has recently been generating you like 50 extra comments per pin comments, or like 200 to 250 extra comments per post. So how are you doing that? Break that down for me.
Sure, yeah, I'd love to. It's a strategy known as the pinned comment strategy. Yeah, you might have seen them on my posts if you follow me, but essentially what I'm doing, I'll get up the same example here. It's basically, okay, this one is not showing. I'll get up another post. Let's do today's post, which basically it's a way to add another insight to the post. So you've left all this valuable information up here. Now, how can you actually show up and build a deeper connection with your audience and also get more engagement to beat that algorithm? So pin comments, I create around 3 per post, and then I will publish them almost immediately after posting. For example, this one, is just a silly picture of me and a turkey saying Happy Thanksgiving. And how I create these, it's with a GPT that I've created. It is available on the GPT store. It's called Pin Comment GPT. I created it almost a year ago now because I was using it for myself and I thought, why don't I make this available to everybody? And the reaction has been really good. People love it, and whenever I see someone use it, I can tell. I'm like, that's a pin comment GPT generation. And to use it, you can just simply paste in your post caption, and then it will auto generate comments, but not the the bad AI comments. It's ones which you're actually leaving on your post. It's useful AI comments. It's like writing a post with AI. There's no difference. Bad AI comments are on other people's posts, but ones on your own, they're good. So let's take this as an example here. I would then just copy this and then head back over to LinkedIn. Just double check and author it up is the tool I'm using here. And make sure that it's optimal for format. I might add a listicle style here instead of the kind of ... stop sentences, which to me are clearly AI. Alongside rhetorical questions, it's a bit of an AI giveaway plus the M dashes. So, I will clean it up and make it feel as human as possible. But then once I have the comment, then I use a range of different AI tools. Nano Banana is probably leading the way for me right now. And let me quickly demo how I'd go about it. So I save an image of me down here on my Notion dashboard. And then we'll head over to Nano Banana, grab it, drop it in there. And okay, let's look at the comment. Apps aren't just for coders anymore. Okay, fine. Let's just copy this, and then I will voice to text prompt it saying, generate a funny side by side comparison style image here of me in cartoon style for the following comment. And I'm using Whisperflow. If anyone's curious what voice to text tool I'm using, it's honestly a lifesaver. Instead of manually typing that out and spending around like 20 seconds, I've done that in 5. So I highly recommend checking out Whisperflow if you aren't using it already. And then essentially Nano Banana is the best AI image generation tool right now. So that's why I'm using it here. But I also sometimes generate them in ChatGPT with a similar approach as I've just shown you, or in Ideogram, which has been my long-term favorite for a while here. Okay, this isn't bad. The approach that I took here isn't amazing, but ultimately, once I've got that, then I can head over to Notion, and I've got this template which auto-populates. So I can paste in my comment, and then paste in the image that I've generated. And then in this instance, I'm simply going to crop this bit out, because this is funny. This is like a nice little kind of graphic that would go well with this comment here. And yeah, I probably spend around like 20 to 30 minutes each morning creating these. And sometimes I think like, why am I doing this? Why am I creating these comments? I could be doing something way more valuable in this time. But I've had so many people come to me and cite my pinned comments as one of the reasons why they love to check out my comment section, which ultimately helps with dwell time. People are going to spend longer on my post because they want to see my comments. And yeah, it's just a kind of extension of my personal brand. It's funny, it's humorous, it actually shows personality outside of my core post. So yeah, it's a must-try workflow. And definitely we'll be sharing like more about this in the upcoming community. So yeah, that's my little pin comment strategy.
Wow, Charlie, that was a masterclass. That was amazing. Thank you so much for the insight. I do pin comments as well. I think I leave about 3 to 5 under each post, but not with that level of effort, which is why I think my impressions are lower there. But what works for me is when I ask questions in the pinned comments. I will literally say, let's chat, or I would say title it as a question, and then I'll ask a question, something relevant to what I've posted about. And that seems to get a lot of people to stay back and have a chat with me, have a conversation. So I think it's an incredible way to build that connection with your audience and at the same time improve the performance of your post. So it's a win-win. It takes a couple of extra minutes, but will absolutely improve your LinkedIn experience overall. And there are 2 other things that I do. I spend about 1 hour every day when I'm posting. I post 4 to 5 times a week. And so in totality, I'm spending like 5 hours a week on LinkedIn, and that's truly not that much of my time when it comes to building a personal brand and scaling my business from this one platform. So in that 1 hour, what I'm doing is I'm doing 3 things. So what I like to do, number one, is leave a question at the end of my post, not even just in the pinned comments. I always ask a question at the end of my posts, and this would be something relevant to what I'm talking about. So for example, if I've shared like 5 tips about growing on LinkedIn, at the end I will say something like, is there a 6th one that you would like to add to the list, or which one was your favorite, for example. And that makes it easy for the person reading your post to actually contribute to it. Why else would they comment if you've shared like 5 tips? What's there to comment? So if you can remove the friction when it comes to leaving a comment, do that. And what's something incredible about this approach is I've discovered so many clients this way. Sometimes I would make it very strategic, like in the question that I'm asking, I would say, which one of these things are you struggling with? And there will be people leaving a comment under my post saying, I particularly struggle with tip number 3 that you have shared, or anything like that. And then that's my opening to leave them a DM and talk to them about their pain point that I possibly, can fix through my offer. So I feel like that's an incredible way to not, again, you're boosting engagement, you're building a connection, but at the same time, you're filtering out potential clients for yourself. So comments are, if you are being strategic with your engagement, you can do so much. And the second thing I like to do, much like Charlie, is leaving pinned comments, again, just to have a conversation with the people. And the third thing I like to do in the 1 hour that I'm spending on LinkedIn under my own post, I practice a law of reciprocity. Like if somebody is giving me their time and they're showing up every single day, I would like to go and visit their profile and engage with their content. And the reason why I do this is because if I'm building a connection with them, they're showing up every single day, they're the active members of my community. And B, this is how I've met so many of my incredible connections. This is how I met Charlie. Like we both post at the same time. He used to come and comment under my post. That's how then that's how I discovered Charlie. And then we took the chat in the DMs, and now we are co-founders. We're building a business together. So this is what it means when you give back to your community, when you actually build those connections outside of just under your post. You actually go back and leave comments on other people's profiles. This is how you build visibility on the platform, not just with that person, but there will be people in their community then discovering you through that one comment. So I feel like engagement is not a low ROI activity. It's something that has built my business, honestly. And
Mm.
there's one other thing, incredible benefit that comes from having an engaged audience, and that is this incredible source of income. People are not, they're not even aware of. Um, when it comes to brand partnerships, there are so many brands now wanting to work with thought leaders and experts in this space. And I actually have a client who has less than, I think, 1,500 followers. And she recently landed a brand deal. And you would think you need followers to work with brands, or you need a lot of, I don't know, like a massive audience of reach. But what you truly need is an engaged audience. If your network knows you, that you are the right person for this particular topic, that's why brands would want to align with you and work with you. And this is an incredible extra source of income, I would say. This month, I'm making 5 figures just by partnering with brands. So why are more people not paying attention to this? I don't get it. I feel like engagement is not a low effort activity. It brings in so many sources of revenue your way if you have the right connection with the audience.
Mm.
And on that
100%.
note, Charlie, yeah, sorry, go on.
No, I mean, yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. I was going to say, shall we bring on our final guest?
Yeah, yeah, let's do it. Let's have our final member from the bootcamp who has been an amazing case study. So,
Mm.
Carol, do we have you here?
Yes, he's here.
Yes, I am. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, we can hear you, Carol. Nice to see you.
Perfect.
Excellent. Excellent. Sure.
So,
So
Carol,
I can start by
yeah,
sharing my background if that works.
absolutely.
All right. So I've spent about 20 years in enterprise IT, and I went through different roles in systems engineering, project management, delivery, pre-sales, and more recently, technical marketing. And this year, I decided to make a big shift. I wanted to take everything I've learned and pair it with the opportunities AI brings to the table. So I started my own business as a founder and solopreneur. Right now, I'm building a niche-focused Gen AI training programs. The first of them is related to my extensive IT background. And I also have plans for other niches where I have some hands-on experience because not many people realize it, but I also have experience in music industry. I'm a music artist as well, releasing on international labels. So there's a lot
Mm.
of value I want to bring to that community as well.
Great. I did not know that. That's incredible. Mhm.
Good. Yeah. What else would you like to know from me?
Yeah. Okay. So, Carol, tell me, what made you then join the boot camp? And you are somebody who's staying back with us in the new community. So, tell me, how was your experience and what's bringing you back to the community?
Yeah. So I decided to join the bootcamp because honestly, as a founder, you cannot hide. I mean, people need to know about you, that you exist, that you have some offerings that you want to provide to others. And I'm a big believer that AI can help you to show up more consistently without burning out. That's why I was interested in this bootcamp. And it helped me in a few ways. First, the 30-day posting challenge helped me to build a habit of regular posting and really get rid of overthinking about what I'm going to post and being judged by others. That was a big thing for me. Second, the feedback I received from the coaches, from you, Fatima and Charlie, was really helpful. And you also provided additional tools like a custom GPT that helped me to really tighten up my posts and make them clearer, because I'm not a native English speaker. And third, being part of the community was great. I mean, everyone in the community was on the same journey, so we were supporting each other, and that was a great
Yeah.
experience for me.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
think
think
that was the highlight for me as well.
yeah, no, definitely. And I think you had one of the most viral posts out of anybody
Yeah.
in the community. I was like, whoa, some serious.
Yeah,
I loved your carousels.
Yeah, it was really
yeah.
good.
And actually, I've gathered some metrics which I can share, because I found it surprising for me, the results that I get from the bootcamp. Because after this 30-day posting challenge, I had like 2,000% more impressions, 3,000% more members reach, and around 12% follower growth. So for me, it was really amazing. So yeah, thank you for this experience and that I could learn from you.
Of course. No, thank
Incredible.
you.
And I really like your approach of how you're working on building this presence on LinkedIn, building a community before you launch your course. So it will definitely pay off to make that investment early on in building a Boston brand.
Yeah.
Most definitely. No, awesome. Well, thank you for taking your time out of your day, Carol, to join us. We really
Yeah, no
appreciate
problem.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and we'll see you
thank you for
inside
having me.
the Creators Club. Yeah.
Yeah, and see you
Yes.
in the community.
Awesome. Well, yeah, thank you again. And yeah, back to the community building stuff. I mean, I do have a few other kind of tips and tricks for building an engaged following.
Yeah.
One obviously are the comments, like you mentioned, Fatima. But yeah, leaving comments on like your core list of people, but actually kind of expanding that network and commenting on new people's posts every single day. But comments are like the first level. If you really want to take it up a notch, then it is the DMs. That's where all the relationship building happens. And to be honest, I've done this since the start. I have replied to every single one of my DMs, no matter who you are, no matter even if you're trying to sell to me, I'll still say hey and have a chat with you, which we see a lot on LinkedIn. And to be honest, it takes 3+ hours out of my day on Friday to get through all of my DMs every single week. It's so tiring. And again, it's one of those activities where I'm like, is this a revenue driving, value adding activity? Not all the time, but I think it has this kind of intangible cost that you can't even measure. It's like if you're just starting out and you see someone with a like larger following and you're like, oh my God, they took the time to actually reply. So many people actually reply saying, I didn't think that you'd get back to me. I'm like, of course, like I'm here. It's really me. It's Charlie. Like I'm talking to you right now. And yeah, it doesn't have to be just that relationship. Also, people on a similar size and similar kind of progress in their journey as you, just building those relationships, and then kind of not directly, but like building that relationship so that you can support one another on LinkedIn. Tons of people will reach out and say, hey, can you like my post? It's like, this makes me want to like your post even less now. But if you're just kind and sweet and say like, hey, Charlie, like, how you doing? Love what you're building. Then that is such, not a hack, but a great way to actually start the conversation, because being in the feed is one thing, but then actually popping up to them in the DMs, that's different. Like you can actually see them. You can actually have a one-to-one relationship with them. And it's a great way to just reinforce you and your personal brand. And one tactic I like to deploy is, once I found someone new to engage with, I will then pop up to them in the DMs. I'll say something along the lines, hey, I love what you're building. How's it going? Thanks for supporting my content. And naturally, just so many kind of non-salesy conversations come out of that. And I find these people do tend to support my stuff, and I support them, longer than, just somebody finding me in the feed, because it goes way, way, way deeper. And yeah, I think it's overlooked, the power of DMs sometimes.
Yeah, that's the thing about building trust with your audience. You can't really measure it, but you have to
Mm.
trust the process. When it comes to leaving comments, you can't really measure the impact, the connection that you're building. When it comes to leaving DMs, yes, so which is why I think a lot of people hesitate when it comes to building a personal brand and relying on an inbound strategy. Building trust with your audience is such an important factor, and it's these things with when it comes to doing them on a regular basis, that's how it's going to work. So you have to, I think, trust the process of building trust with your audience.
Yeah, and it doesn't happen overnight, to be honest. For the first like 3 to
Yeah.
6 months, I did feel invisible on LinkedIn. No one really knew who I was. And then suddenly, after doing it for like a year, then everyone was like, yeah, I love Charlie. He's the AI content guy. So
Yeah.
yeah, it really does take sticking at it, as cliche as it sounds. Consistency is key.
Yeah, totally. And I want to talk about the 30-day LinkedIn challenge that all of our bootcamp members coded, because this is something that helped out so many of our previous students overcome the challenge of posting on LinkedIn. And since we did this inside a community, they did not face the challenge that we keep talking about of staying invisible. So we decided to extend that challenge to everyone. I don't know if you've seen my post, but I'll leave it in the comments. Anyone can participate in that challenge. We've opened it to the public for the next 30 days. Before January 2026, you can start building a personal brand right now in December. So participate in that challenge. It's free for you to join. We've shared actual. So what you get inside the challenge is every week you're going to have 3 different post ideas, and within those post ideas we have given you examples of viral posts on those exact topics, and our recommendations on what you should do to make sure that your post performs well. And we've also shared case studies of our past clients, how it worked out really well for them when they implemented the post prompts. So anyone can join in on that challenge. It was very well received inside the boot camp, and we're going to continue doing that in the AI Creators Club. So we are going to have 3 months worth of content planned out for you. So every single week you will have, the content plan. We will give you custom GPTs to help you out with the content writing, and you are going to have direct access to both me and Charlie to review your content to help you out with any aspect of growing on LinkedIn. So if you can see the QR code on your screen right now, that will take you towards our community page, and just type in. We have a discount for anyone who's attending the session. What's the code for that? Is it chat community?
Um,
Is it community?
Community, yes, and you can join the
Yeah.
posting challenge by scanning the QR code in the top right. It's one of the buttons on the website, and yeah, I think that was so valuable for the first cohort members, because one, they had the structure, like you did a great job with those templates, but then also that direct access to us, because they would write a post and we'd be like, guys, this hook isn't so strong, and we combined our respective years of LinkedIn experience, and some of those posts did amazing. So that's why I think it's very powerful, but also the timing of it, because Fatima, you and I both started in January. It just is just so happened to be like a New
Yeah.
Year's resolution for me. I was like, I want to grow on LinkedIn. I want to escape my 9 to 5.
Same. Yeah.
So I think it's the perfect time to, like, if you really want to commit to something, then January seems to be when most people tend to start out. So yeah, it's a powerful time of the year. And yeah, shall we
Just left the link in the comments. We have like 15 minutes left, or less, in fact. Let's do questions, if there are any questions by the audience.
Yeah, I did see some questions. All right, I'm scrolling up to the top. If you have any questions, then please leave them in the comments now, and we'll get to them in the last 13 minutes or so. Okay. Will you be learning how to build engagement or learning about the bootcamp? Yes. Okay. Good stuff. Right.
I'm just replying to comments here. So many people have asked about the challenge. I've left that in.
So that's an interesting point, Yuduma. It's something which is tedious. Engagement, so tedious, and again, it isn't one of those like revenue driving activities. But hey, it's worked incredibly well for me. You know, I used to do it before my work, and then do it on lunch, and then do it when I got back from work. And it doesn't feel like it's important when you're starting out, but it's crucial. It will make or break your post. LinkedIn isn't like other social media platforms. Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, you can post and it will do well. LinkedIn is all about that network. So your first degrees, your second degrees, and your third degrees. If you engage with your other first degrees and actually build up those reciprocal relationships that we've referred to throughout this event, then your content will start to be distributed to the second degrees, basically mutual connections with your other first degrees. And then finally, it will get seen by new people in your third degree network. And the only way to do that is with comments. Otherwise, it's very, very hard to stand out and get good engagement on your posts.
I think I find it that tedious, honestly. I spend 5 hours a week. That's something anyone can do. And it's one of those activities that you don't see is driving you revenue, but you are actually building trust with your audience, and it is adding to, the actual ROI of your business. I mean the activity. And secondly, I feel like the fact that you mentioned on other platforms like TikTok, Instagram, you don't have that control over visibility. But on LinkedIn, just by leaving comments, you can take control of your reach, your impressions. Like you can actually get more profile views by being visible on the platform through comments. So this is something I think any activity that you can actually control, why not take a shot at that? It's an incredible way to generate more impressions. Some of my comments end up getting more impressions than my posts. So imagine I'm posting just once a day. However, I'm leaving like 50 comments at different people's profiles, even if I leave about 10. So that's me then increasing my visibility by 10 times, 50 times. So if it's something that you can do, so why not?
Yeah, 100%. Just do whatever's sustainable for you ultimately at the end of the day. Another question. Does this only work on personal linked profiles, or can you use it on these company pages too? So I think this person is referring to the pin comment strategy, and 100%, I think you can, but a smarter use case here for a company page is to actually do this on other people's posts. So there's like AI images, memes, GIFs, as long as it aligns with your brand. I think that's one of the best and smartest ways I've seen company pages actually stand out on LinkedIn, rather than kind of leaving generic corporate comments. Bringing a bit of personality and fun into your company page can really help. So yes, I'd say it's applicable.
Yeah, shout out to Stanley. I think Stanley does this really, really well, the AI writing tool that both of us use. So
Yes.
whoever's running their company page, yeah, is doing a good job.
Yeah, 100%. Just showing that personality, it really makes B2B a bit more exciting and not boring. Okay, next comment. Just a nice comment from Simon here. Thank you, Simon. It doesn't feel like sometimes like everything that I share is valuable, but I think that is a big thing with LinkedIn. Is like you think, wait, doesn't everybody know this? When actually they don't. They don't have your personal experience, the years that you spent like mastering LinkedIn and AI. They don't have that knowledge, and it's important to remember sometimes that your personal experience, and just even if it's so simple and basic to you, it could be like groundbreaking and revolutionary to someone else. So yeah, no worries about doing anything for us, but thank you for joining our session today, and the kind comment. Question here. What's the best strategy you use or suggest to writing comments on posts? So I use my pin comment GPT for my own comments, but
I was gonna say, yeah.
So outside of that, it is human written comments. Sometimes I will use AI to suggest. AI can be funnier than me sometimes. Like if I'm struggling for a comment, I will ask it for some ideas, and you can even use the pin comment GPT for that. But yeah, you got to edit heavily, otherwise it just feels robotic.
I feel like just write how you talk. That's the best advice I can give you, because then you're actually showcasing your personality and attracting people with who you are. If you're funny, just make sure that your personality comes out is what I would recommend. I'm very casual. I know LinkedIn is a professional platform, but yeah, I like to be casual. I like to be me. So just be yourself. Don't really worry about how you'd be perceived. I think the more authentic you are, the more attractive you are.
Yeah, 100%. I think that is a great tip. And also using a voice to text tool like Whisper Flow can really help, because then you can just, as Fatima said, type as you talk. You literally are talking. So
Like
that can be
actually,
that could be a big hack, I think.
yeah.
So I'm not able to scan the QR code. How else can I join the community? So
Mm.
yeah, if you comment community, we'll make sure the link gets sent out after the webinar. And yeah, we'll make sure it gets sent your way. And then someone said, I've been on LinkedIn for 5 years, posting consistently, and I've posted less and less because of the recent algorithmic change. Well, yeah, it is tough out there. I cannot lie. The
Yeah.
algorithm has really affected content performance recently, in the past year or so for me. But to be honest, I'm just adjusting to the new norm and controlling what I can, which is the content and the relationship building.
And you know what? Like this month, my impressions dipped by 60%, Charlie, but it was my highest revenue month of the year, despite
Oh,
of that. So exactly. So I feel like this misconception that
mm,
your impressions need to be high, you constantly need to be on the platform for you to have your business running, it's not true. So if you come inside our community, we'll show you how to make things work for you despite of whatever the algorithm is. And this is where actually your engaged community can come to your rescue. If you have a loyal audience who are going to show up whether you are appearing on the feed or not, because a lot of times you know, people have rung the bell on our profile, so they will be there every single day. When I post at 11, I see the same group of people come and support. So
mm.
this is where your community can make a difference. So all right, I see a lot of people writing down community. Amazing. We'll send you the details.
Awesome. Okay. Jason says, do we need Sales Navigator to do the 3-month community challenge? So it's not a must, but we do have some sales tactics that do involve Sales Navigator. It is the best sales tool when it comes to customer data because it's on LinkedIn. They have access to so much. So it's not a must, but it's a nice to have. Amita says, how to spot LinkedIn trends. So
Follow Charlie.
yeah, I mean, I wonder if you're talking about like content trends or whether it's more specifically like what's changing on LinkedIn. There's a few kind of like algorithm reports which help. But outside of that, your own personal data is probably the most important thing. And again, Stanley, we both love Stanley here. It's great for that because you can actually analyze your content performance, and every single week it will give you an email
Yeah.
saying this post performed 1.2 times better than your average. Here's why. So yeah, that's probably the most important thing. Your own data.
Laura left a very funny comment. Did you color coordinate with your plant, Charlie?
I did think that. Yeah, just so happened to. Yeah. Honestly, I didn't plan to, but yeah. So Sagar says, based on your experience, what are the top 2 to 3 things you did differently on LinkedIn that actually turned casual followers into an engaged community? So for me personally, it was the pinned comments. That was one thing. Secondly, it was the replying to all of my DMs. And thirdly, it's probably building those new relationships with people actually in the comments and the DMs.
And I would say asking questions at the end of your posts. That's a great way to have a conversation. And then law of reciprocity, like go back and just shower some of that connection back.
100%. How to set up LinkedIn strategy for outsourced software IT company with deep expertise in AI, machine learning, and processor programming. Ooh, I think that's a really
Heavy
hot topic
question.
to talk about on LinkedIn. Yeah, it is 100%. But like, ultimately, you need to be finding the latest studies, graphics about AI and machine learning that you can share, because I think that topic, to me anyway, is like, I want to know more. How does this stuff work? I'm great with generative AI, but yeah, basically any kind of content that you can find. Someone who I'd recommend is Leo Alexander. He is really good with that style of content, so I highly recommend checking out his profile for some inspiration. And then we've also got Sergey here, who's actually joining the posting challenge. He's I saw his post yesterday,
Oh,
his introduction post. So that's that's great
yeah,
to
I
hear.
saw it
So,
too.
yeah, honestly, that's all it takes is just a bit of guidance, and that's really nice to hear. What is the best kind of hooks to use? Okay, me personally, I have a very specific style. It's how to do something. Yeah, here's how I do it. Mine's is very like
Yeah.
action orientated and value driven. Sometimes I will do a few posts like my one today. Vibe coding is only for prototyping. That's a lie. Kind of this calling out a common misconception and using a contrasting rehook. That's probably the other style that I lean into sometimes.
Yeah, in fact, I think Charlie recently posted this incredible infographic on good
Yes.
and bad hooks. So yeah, go and look at that because for me personally, what really works well in a hook is if I start with how
Mm,
to, something along those lines, and if you use numbers, they tend to do really well. For example, if I'm talking about a certain topic, I'm sharing tips. I would say I'm sharing these
mm,
5 tips, so that
mm.
immediately sets the expectation on what I'm about to get from this post. So I think a good hook is something that's quick, easy to consume, and sets the expectation straight away, but at the same time opens the loop. So yeah.
Yeah, I love numbers and hooks, percentages.
Yeah.
Anything that's not a letter, it goes well in a
Mhm.
hook. So definitely leverage them. Should we engage more with second and third degree connections? I think ultimately yes. You should have a few touch points with people, and then basically you start to connect with them. Yeah, especially if you see that
Mm.
active and posting on LinkedIn as well.
I'm I'm loving Gloria's comments.
Who?
She's so
Where?
funny. She's saying,
God,
she loves my spy look. It feels like we're on a strategy call on how to take over the LinkedIn world.
no, it is. I really do like it too. Very chic. How about we find each other through comment? Okay, sorry. What emerging AI? Okay, Sana. Hey, Sana. What emerging AI trends should content creators prepare for now to stay ahead of the next 2 to 3 years? Oh, it's a really interesting one because we don't know what's next with AI. It changes overnight. I think the big thing is obviously just being ahead of the latest AI tools and trends. For example, Google Gemini, you can now generate infographics in there, which is crazy, like crazy good. If you haven't tried it, do it. I
Yeah.
mean, it's so
Yeah.
good, the text rendering. So it's really I'd say not specializing in anything too heavily. It's quite important to stay a generalist and be good at like many things, so you can always pivot and change and really use AI holistically across your business,
I
I'd
think
say.
AI agents has a lot of potential.
Mm,
How the search is going to evolve for a further step with AI agents. When you can have a conversation, but even with like ChatGPT, it's incredible what when it comes to AI agents, they can like do incredible amount of research in incredible like very little time. There's a lot of potential in this arena. I think that's going to definitely improve.
yeah, and also yeah, definitely like operations automations, but then also like tasteful AI content, like knowing what looks good and what looks bad. So yeah, content creation I still think is absolute king in that regard. Shall we just keep answering the questions, or shall we
How
wrap it
much
up?
time do you have?
I mean, I've got time. Yeah, I'm not in a rush actually. I'm quite enjoying answering the questions.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind. Let's go through the questions, a few of them, and then we can wrap it up. Yep. The
Awesome.
next
Okay.
5-10 minutes.
Awesome. How much time on average is required for engagement alone? How to customize feed to engage efficiently? Oh, I like this question. When we actually went through it in our boot camp, I think firstly, it's whatever's sustainable for you, but then also you can use the LinkedIn Boolean search, which I can quickly demo if that sounds good.
Love a good demo. Go on.
Okay, fine. So basically, it's like a bit of a weird hack, but if you press like space and then enter on the search bar, I mean, this is the only way that I know to bring it up, but then you select posts and then let's do past 24 hours, sort by latest, and then from members. So let's do Fatima. Great. Let's do Monica, which I think this is a good chance. Oh, I can't find Monica now. Am I spelling her name wrong?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, let's do
Maybe
Sarah.
let's try. Yeah, Sarah. There we go. I love her content.
Okay, let's do these guys. Then you can see that. So this is the event we're currently in, but I can see. Oh, I should like that. You can see the most recent post in the last 4 hours from people that I've selected, rather than just everybody on the feed. So it's a great way to really have a core list of people, which I like to have like around like 30 odd. And then outside of that, it's always like new people every day that I want to engage with. So I know I've got my core crew I can rely on, but then also there's new people who will come and support my content and we can build relationships with. So yeah, it's probably the best hack.
Yeah, and you can even bookmark this page, so you don't have to do this
Mhm.
activity every single time, I think, which
Exactly.
is incredible. Just name it your new engagement list. There we go. So just
Perfect.
go on that, and then it will show you the people that you've selected, when has their last post gone live, and you can use this as your home feed. Much better.
Exactly. It's the best and most effective way. And then outside that is, yeah, whatever is sustainable for you. It's quite a long question. That we can always learn from things. How can we help others less fortunate than us? Oh wow. I mean, it's a really tough question, Simon, but your initiative does sound powerful, and yeah, I hope that this gives it some visibility. And yeah, if you'd like to join in, then definitely reach out to Simon, because that is a very important thing to consider when it comes to AI. What's the process of the posting day challenge? So basically, you'll receive an email almost every day about a topic which you can then post about. Like the first one is a reintroduce yourself post, and these always do very well. But yeah, basically new topics every single day for 30 days via email.
No, so it's every alternative day.
Oh,
So 3 posts per week. We've tried to keep it at a pace where everyone can join in. We don't want not everyone can post every single day, but 3 is a good number when it comes to building a personal brand and posting on LinkedIn. So you're going to receive 3 posts, and our expectation from you to see good results from this challenge is that you are at least posting 3 times every single week. And follow the prompts, look at the viral post examples that we have shared. I think the best way to really understand how to structure your post is by seeing what's performing well already out on LinkedIn. Just get a sense of that through, the examples we've shared.
awesome. The discussion is reminding me of the clamor of activity around SEO about 10 years ago. Suddenly, everyone was chasing the secret to optimizing visibility on the web via the right word list. Now we're all trying ourselves to crack the code of the LinkedIn algorithm. If you're trying to build a business versus become a LinkedIn expert, what's your advice? It's a really interesting question, because I find a lot of people, once you've been on LinkedIn long enough, then you do automatically become a LinkedIn expert of sorts. But I think there's so many examples of people who never talk about LinkedIn growth, who are just business leaders, and they're creating great content. For example, people like Jake Ward's quite a good example when it comes to SEO, since you mentioned it. There's so many use cases. It's just obviously being deeply knowledgeable about your topic of expertise. That's what it comes down to. You don't have to become a LinkedIn expert.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
And the thing is, there's opportunity on this platform right now. There's a
Mm,
billion users, only 1 to 3% are posting regularly, which is why it's becoming, the go-to platform for business founders to build their personal brands, because the competition right now is low. So I think the best time to hop on this train is right now. As you said, it is going to bring you the best benefit if you start building your presence on this platform right now. Despite the algorithm changes at recent times, the organic reach on this platform is unmatched. You don't get this sort of organic push from any other platform, in my opinion. TikTok, Instagram. So as a business owner, if you want to invest time in building a personal brand, LinkedIn is the best platform for that, 100%. And it's also low effort. On TikTok, people say you have to post 7 times a day, whereas on LinkedIn, you can just start by 3 times a week. And that's it, 3 hours per week. and you can build a very strong personal brand on the platform.
Yeah, I mean, one point about that is I know someone who's got hundreds of thousands of followers on Instagram, and they've got the same on LinkedIn. Zero new business from Instagram. They've generated, God knows how much from LinkedIn. It just goes to show it's unsaturated and obviously highly lucrative if used correctly.
Yeah.
And thank you, Anna, for bringing up the link, because that's the link you need if you can't scan the QR code. Yeah, theaicreator.uk/sign up. And then we have a question here about the pin comment GPT. I can quickly, that's like, there'll be many more GPTs in the community, but you can go to GPTs, explore, and then type in pinned comment. I think I should just come up with that. Yeah. Oh, I hope. Wait, can people access that? No. So yeah, just type it in and then you can start using it. And you can save that in your sidebar. It's quite easy, but yeah, we will attach the link in the comments too. Okay, I think. Oh, there's quite a personal question for me. When you start posting on LinkedIn, how often did you post? Do you have a proper strategy about your content pillars? To be honest, I didn't really have a strategy. I just was kind of posting. I did plan out my content pillars beforehand. I was like, AI, marketing. That was it. That's how I started out. And I posted 5 times a week when I started out. Then I slowly got addicted and started posting weekends too. So yeah, I had a very loose strategy. I remember it was Christmas Day 2023. I sat down, I strategized, okay, here's how my banner's going to look. Here's my content pillars. Then over the next 9 months or so, I spent a lot of time figuring it out. So some strategy, but not a whole lot of strategy.
And yeah, LinkedIn is addictive. When you get into it, when you start seeing results, you will want to stay on.
Yeah, that first viral post, I was like, oh, okay. Hundreds of followers gained. Like, this is exciting. It was honestly so exhilarating those early days, I remember. Whereas now it's a job. So,
Yeah, the sweet feeling of going viral is incredible.
yeah, that first time, like, oh my God, I made it. Do you plan on coordinating? Oh my God, yes. Okay, great. I think and there was one more question here. How do you use content to post? It's all down to your personal data. Yeah, cheat sheets, carousels, anything that's new in the AI space. That's what I focus on. But yeah, I think we should wrap it up here then, Fatima.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it because I'm tired of standing at this point.
Oh, you're standing?
Yeah, I've been standing.
Oh my God. Okay.
My camera set up.
Wow, it looks very pro. So yeah, awesome.
Thank you so much, Charlie, for being on the session with me on my first ever LinkedIn Live. I could not have asked for a better co-host. Thank you so much for your presence and the session. I deeply enjoyed, hearing everything you had to share. And if you guys are interested in learning more about our community, because we are going to host sessions much like this one, even better, every single week. So there's going to be live sessions with me and Charlie, and we're also going to have incredible guest speakers inside the AI Creator Club. So,
oh yes, we haven't mentioned the guest speakers. We've got John Q from Stan, big guy doing great things. We got who else?
Justin Welsh and Sophie Miller.
Justin Wright, sorry, not Welsh.
Oh, sorry, Justin Wright.
not Justin Welsh. Justin Wright, who's ex CIO of a big like $4 billion firm, and then Sophie Miller, who is the absolute legend from Pretty Little Marketer. So yeah. I think that value alone is worth signing up for. So
exactly, you don't get access to these people. Like John doesn't do sessions like this. Justin doesn't do sessions like this. So you'll be getting access to these people. You'll be sitting in the same room with them, and you can ask them whatever questions you have about their presence. And Justin, I want to give him a shout out. He started off. I remember when he first started, he reached out to me regarding my coaching, and at the time, like Justin was just starting off, and right now in just 2 years he's got 700,000 followers on LinkedIn, which is incredible. In 2 years time. So he has a lot to share, and I don't think he ever does sessions like these, which is why he was the first person who came to my mind when we were making the list of guest speakers. So I'm really excited about that. So there's going to be a lot of people that you'll get to meet inside the AI Creators Club. Of anything that we've learned from the bootcamp, the community was the favorite part about the bootcamp experience. So I'm really excited to relive it, and I hope we see a lot more of you inside the AI Creators Club as well. If you have any
Yeah.
questions, and if you'd like to learn more about it, drop the word community, and we'll reach out to you.
Yes, no, please, yeah, we'll follow up with everybody. And also, one thing we forgot to mention is doing these live sessions is probably a great way to build an engaged audience. People love them.
Yeah.
I love them too. It was so much fun. So definitely, if you haven't done one, give it a go. Because yeah, I really enjoyed today, Fatima, and yeah, can't wait to see as many people inside the AI Creators Club. And yeah, I look forward to doing another live session with you soon.
Yeah. Likewise. Let's see you tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We'll. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Happy diary.
Awesome. Well, all right. Thank you everyone for joining us, and yeah, we'll see you soon.